Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Habs tonight. We've got a lot to cover today, folks. We are going to be talking Olympics and the doubts that are surrounding them right now in terms of the NHL actually being there. We're going to talk Team Canada and the World Junior roster that was just announced today. But before we go anywhere, of course, say hello to Marco and Damon. Thanks for jumping on today, boys.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
First time for Marco and Damon on camera together. So thank you, boys, for doing this. Folks, we just passed 13,000 subscribers on YouTube, and we want to keep that number going in tribute to Nick Suzuki for 14,000. So 14K. Be sure to hit subscribe before we move along here, folks. We really appreciated the support, and we're gonna just jump right into it, guys. So this is the big story right now, and that is the NHL being at the Olympics is in serious doubt. The more we hear players coming out, we got, Alex Pietrangelo saying he's not sure about protocols. I mean, the protocols are pretty strict. We're looking at a 3 to 5 week quarantine, as we all know. So the fact that this is such a big issue right now, how concerned are you guys about the NHL players playing at the Olympics? Where are your heads at right now?
I mean, I think for the players, they have serious doubts of going to the Olympics because for them, they have a lot to worry about when you look at this COVID situation in China, it's a minimum 21-day quarantine if they do end up catching the bug. So with the possibility of that extending to even 5 weeks. So if that does happen, the NHL also said that they're not obligated to pay their players even if they're sick and they're stuck in China. So if I'm an NHL player, I would be really concerned for just the amount of time where you'd be missing away from family, which is something that Alex Pietrangelo was seriously concerned about with all his children that he has, and also for just the paycheck. Not just, I mean, it's not a fun situation for anybody. So I definitely understand the concern why some people are skeptical of going, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's more players added to the list other than Pietrangelo and Leonard, who will say that they won't be participating.
I'm personally very concerned because the thing is, with the quarantine, is typically in Canada, it's always been 2 weeks. And now that you're fully vaccinated for most of the athletes, if you want to compete, it should be a bit too less. So for me, I'm really concerned, and I just think it's kind of ridiculous that it's 5 weeks.
Yeah, that's either way, 3 week. Like, I mean, I remember when Dale, Dale Weiss was coming into the bubble, and we chatted with him while he was in quarantine on his 7-day quarantine in 2020 when COVID, there was no vaccine even around. And 7 days seemed like a long time. That's boring enough by yourself. But my gosh, 3 weeks, like that's just next level. And I can completely understand. And in my personal opinion, at this point, I want we've seen a lot of hockey. Let's just put it that way in the last year and a half with the bubble, with the shortened season, everything else. The World Junior tournament still happening, and even without fans, all this stuff. But I got to be honest, I'm with the players on this one. If they don't want to go, I'm not going to be upset if the Olympics are postponed and played in North America at a later date. I think that's what I'd almost rather see. I mean, the NHL players aren't going to get special treatment. That's another article that was, kind of released recently too. And I don't know if that was what they were expecting, if they were going to be in more of a bubble situation like they were, and kind of, there was no positive tests in the bubble in 2020. So that's something that has to be considered. But at this stage, I just think that I'm not going to be upset about the fact that they might not go. And that's why we're going to get to it in a minute, but we're going to talk about the Canadian World Juniors roster. So kind of switching into other international play for our juniors. But I want to touch for a moment on Carey Price and just his preparations right now, because he's preparing, guys. If you watch him in practice, he's a guy that looks like he's preparing for not just any return, but he wants to go to the Olympics. He was really upset when they didn't go in 2018. So, there's certain players that are really passionate about going no matter what. But what do you think about Carey Price, a guy like him? What's your opinion on, I just want to get your opinions on Carey and if he would actually want to go.
I think he would want to go because he's the best goalie in the world, in my opinion, right now. And the thing is that Carey Price has definitely taken a lot of steps to making the hockey world a better place by taking his leave of absence. And he's a guy who really deserves a gold medal.
Another one.
Yeah, another one. Yeah. Keep adding to that collection. Hlinka Gretzky gold. Yeah, World Junior gold, Olympic gold. You can just add on to another Olympic gold. That list just keeps going and going. I'd love to see him rack up some more golds.
Yeah, and you look at the amount of time that Carey's missed and everything he's gone through with his personal situations, how great of a comeback would it be if you come back and you win the gold for your country? I think that's any player's dream. So I definitely think that Carey Price would be very motivated to make that Olympic team. And also considering the way that the Habs are going this season, I think his focus would be to kind of just see, like, just to get his confidence up. And like I said, it'd be an extreme rush of blood to the head if you get that gold medal for your country and then you come back next season better than ever.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's just like, a guy like him, you want to see him do well. You want to see all of Canada get an opportunity here, right? I mean, it would just be a really special roster, and we all know the names that would be together on it. So, but let's jump over to the Canadian World Junior roster for a moment, keeping eyes on Kaiden Guhle, who I believe, guys. I mean, you guys, I think we're on the same page with this, that he could be the next captain here for the World Juniors. The roster was just released today. Joshua Roy, as we know, the other Habs prospect, was released right near the end. He was in the final cut, so that's a good sign. Damon, you definitely predicted that one.
Yeah, he played really well. He had good chemistry with Connor Bedard, which could translate to next year with Bedard returns, which is more than likely. So that's definitely something to look forward to for next World Juniors. But this one, of course, you can look at KGRT, Kaiden Guhle Revenge Tour.
I like the name of that. I like the sound of that, I should say. And that's what we'll touch on for a moment here, guys, too. Kaiden Guhle, very likely, it seems, to be the next captain here for Team Canada at the World Juniors.
Yeah, I think he is because he's definitely someone at the World Junior training camp that sounded like he was more than ready than ever to get revenge for the loss in the gold medal game. And also, there's just something about the way he talks. He reminds me of a bit of a younger Shea Weber, but except left-handed and a bit more blonde hair.
Yeah, and I
Absolutely.
mean, you see this intensity from Guhle and just his revenge tour, like you mentioned, and his desire to win and just lay it out for his team. As a Habs fan, you're looking at this and you feel nothing but excitement for the future.
Yeah, and the Shea Weber comparisons, I think it's way too early to compare. Like, Shea Weber's a Hall of Famer, but dear Lord, we still want him to come back no matter what we say. I think that I know prayers, right? Prayers for Webbs, but the way Kaiden carries himself, the way he, like you said, and it's also his size. I mean, he hasn't even filled out his frame, and the kid's already 6'3", 215 pounds or so, a big frame on him. I mean, the World Junior roster is also going to have Owen Power, so that's 6'6". That's going to be a big back end for Team Canada. But staying with the Habs in terms of focusing on what we have to look forward to, we're going to jump right into that for a moment here, and I think it's an interesting tidbit. I mean, what are the expectations for Habs fans? And we kind of touched on it with you guys at the end of on the post game show the other night. So, what are the expectations in your guys' opinion for Habs fans going forward? We're on a 6-game losing streak. But how should we look at the rest of the season, at least in the immediate term right now?
Well, I think this could be separated into the very near future, meaning before Christmas, and also beyond that towards the end of the season. I think before Christmas, we'll definitely see a lot more intensity from the players and desire to win and end things on the go no before heading on to next year. I know this is something that Jake Allen touched up on, that he's very frustrated with the way things have been going, just like everyone else in the locker room. And everyone just wants a change of scenery, just wants to get the pedal to the metal, like foot on the right track, just to give the just to make the locker room a much more cheerful and positive atmosphere. And then going on to the next year, I think as Habs fans, we could expect kind of the same we've been used to. Maybe if they get off to a good start before the winter break, then maybe they'll be doing a little better than what we've seen, hopefully. But I would definitely expect us to be preparing for the draft come June or July or whenever it's being held.
Yeah.
Yep.
I agree. Like the thing right now for me is, I think the expectation should be just to enjoy the rest of the season. I know it's been difficult, but just let the kids play, let them make their mistakes, and let them grow from here.
And with that said, guys, that's what Jake Allen is in favor of. What we heard him say it himself. So that has to bring us to the frustration, I think, from a lot of fans with Dominic Ducharme. So is Ducharme still coaching to win over developing prospects at this point? What are you guys seeing right now?
I mean, I think that any coach, no matter who it is, will be motivated to win no matter what. And it's not like Ducharme is on a contract extension right now where he's got years to kind of prove the organization what he could do. He's kind of on thin ice. So if I'm Ducharme, I'm looking to win no matter what. And as fans, it's not really what you want to see. And as players too, because we talked about Jake Allen, there's a bit of a conflict in the locker room with what the players want to see and what the coach wants to see. But I definitely understand Ducharme's point of view and why he would want to prioritize winning over develop the younger players, which kind of makes it frustrating as fans. You just kind of wish that everyone would be on the same page with these type of things, but it is what it is.
I agree. Like right now, in my opinion, if Ducharme's here, I want him to stay for the long term, so we don't kind of get into this situation where he's coaching to win as opposed to coaching to develop. So I just hope he's here for the long haul. So yeah, I just don't get why he's not letting our youngsters play as much. Like I want to see Romy play more. I want to see Cole play more, but they're not playing as much as they should. And same with the Alone, and he only played like 7 minutes the last game.
And you know something, that's my next subject. So Romanov, actually specifically standing out for the Habs. It seems like every game now he's laying somebody out. Is he not?
He is, yeah.
And then I'll continue that point. Sorry, I thought you were going to expand on that, Damon.
Oh, that's
so.
okay.
But you guys are seeing that, right? A little awkward pause is good for everybody. So
Yeah.
Alexander Romanov, to me, is playing pretty, I wouldn't say careless, but carefree. I think he's playing with a little more freedom to his game, and he's finally showing us like that battering ram that they projected him to be, right? Like that guy who's just lining people up every single game, every single night, and then got a nice goal the other night too, which was a nice bonus, the only goal of the game against St. Louis. So what do you guys think about what you're seeing from Romy now? And are we just going to see this improve more and more over the years?
Yeah, I think that this season is really kind of like a go for it for letting the younger guys do their thing. And we've seen incredible things from Romanov, which is what we're kind of expecting early on when we drafted him, maybe in the past year or two. But seeing him just absolutely lay guys out, like you mentioned, and just bring that intensity, just playing like the entertaining and outstanding defenseman that we were expecting from him a few years ago. So I definitely think that we're going to see a lot more from that this season, because I definitely think that's the number one priority that the players have in mind, just when the young guys do their thing and laying it all out. So I definitely would keep an eye out to see more highlight reel plays and hits from our boy Romanov over there.
I completely agree with that. Like, I just want to see him like throw the body more this year and help him get better at that, because he's one of the best, in my opinion, of the younger defensemen who to do that in the modern day game. Like, there's not very many of them, and Romeo is one of the few to actually do it. So I think Romeo is definitely a big piece of the team in the future. And I just want to see Ducharme let him throw the body more and put him in more offensive situations to let him release that shot.
Yeah, it was an accurate shot too, right? Like, I mean, that's at least 2 wristers that he, beat the goalie clean. The other one I'm thinking of is in the Stanley Cup final in game 4. That was a nice one. And he was on the riding the pine, he was up in the rafters watching before that. But anyway, definitely a standout. It's been fun to watch. And I should mention too, actually, Brandon Legacy, we're wishing him well to feel better, because he wanted to jump on with us tonight for this roundtable. Brando's, we miss him. We love his wisdom, his Habs insight that he brings. It's very unique and appreciated, especially for me, who always gets too excited. And I want the team to win yesterday. And he's like, hold on, just let the kids take over. And you guys are in the same mindset, it sounds like.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that said, guys, we're going to keep it a little bit shorter today, but we do want to tell you, this is a clip that we're going to be releasing very shortly, possibly tomorrow, and that is simply this, and I'll even put it up, guys. Shane Wright or Connor Bedard, Habs fans, which one would you rather have? We all know that Shane Wright is the projected first overall pick in the 2022 draft, but as we also know, Connor Bedard also just sneaking onto the World Junior Team Canada roster, the first 16-year-old to do it since Connor McDavid, a fellow Connor, hint, hint. Both players have been given the elite status, guys. So we want to know from Habs fans, and we're going to talk about it in the next clip. So we're going to leave it at that. I'm just going to tease that just for you guys, just reminding you guys to hit subscribe and follow us on all social medias. Of course, we're everywhere, including TikTok, where Adrian has just been releasing a ton of content. So shout out to Adrian for that. And of course, habstonight.net, guys, before Christmas, get your orders in. Use the promo code Dale to get 20% off on your Habs merch. You guys are about to get yours. I got some. I got to go pick up from FedEx. It was delivered while I wasn't home today. So be sure to do that, guys. Follow us on all social medias, like I mentioned, or Tour de la Ligue going live at 7:00 tonight with JD and Shane. So be sure to check that for our French fans that want to learn French or come on the show. You can do that live with those guys tonight. Might have some content with Dale coming up soon. We're always waiting on Dale's next episode. We all enjoy those. So thank you guys for jumping on. Really appreciate it. And any final thoughts before we wrap this segment, gentlemen?
I just wanted to say that we were talking just recently about Romanov and all the exciting things that he's been bringing to the team. And as Habs fans, we know things aren't going our way this season, but if there's ever something to look forward to, it's definitely things like that. So just keep an eye out on the young guns, stay Habsitive, and go Habs go.
I like it. Damon.
That's it. Marco ended it perfectly right there.
Appreciate it, Damon.
Yeah.
Marco, before he got back to Montreal, took a Habsitivity course in Italy. So kudos to you for that. All right, guys. We always have fun on here despite the struggles of the Canadiens, and it's all because of you guys viewing our show. We appreciate it. Thank you for the support, guys. Go Habs, go Canada, go. In some fashion or another, we're going to get Canadian hockey at the World Juniors coming up at the very least. That's right. We got a lot. This is a fun roster to look forward to for the World Juniors. I'm just throwing that out there. All right, guys. We'll see you soon. Thank you very much for watching.